I'm riding around on my car's low. I feel like I hit the lotto. I'm riding around on my girl's eye. I'm riding around just to get by.
It's ALLDAY Anthony, and we're in the Evo today. Doing an Evo vlog. So I had some spare time, and I figured there were some people on the comments that wanted to see more Evo content, and I had some time today, so I thought I'd make a quick video. And actually, I had a reason to make a video too, I guess, which is kind of cool. I recently got some new wheels for the car, so a small update. And before you get excited, or before you start getting too psyched up about the whole new wheel thing, don't. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing that you probably haven't seen before. Once I pull over, I'll show you guys. But I actually wanted to talk about Evo VIIIs and Evo IXs specifically, and wheel fitment and wheel options. In the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of wheel options. You can pretty much fit anything on everything. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. They make adapters, they make spacers, they make everything to make a wheel work for a car. And so I'm not saying that you can't fit any wheel on an Evo VIII or Evo IX, but for most of the wheels out there, most of the popular wheels that everybody does, it's a little bit more complex than your typical, just bolted onto the hub and call it good. With an Evo VIII and Evo IX, I keep saying Evo VIII and Evo IX so people don't, get mixed up. And they're because they're the same chassis. An Evo VIII and Evo IX is the same chassis for people who don't know that. So you have the same flares on the fenders, you have the same rear quarter panels, and then you have the same big ass Brembo brakes. And the brakes are actually what makes things the most difficult, because a lot of the popular wheel options out there, let's just throw out some, RPF ones, for example, are literally the most popular wheel option there is. Everybody has RPF ones, or at least has had RPF ones. And those, for example, those are not a direct bolt-on fitment to an Evo in the offset and the look and style that everybody wants. There's different sizes. There's 17 by 9, 17 by 9.5. You can bump up to an 18, but with those popular wheels, for an example, those, you put them onto the hub, you're gonna need a spacer on the front to clear the Brembos. So, and then once you put a spacer on the front to clear the Brembos, I think it's what, 10 millimeter, 15 millimeter, something like that. Then after that, you have to worry about the camber, because then you have to worry about when the body roll hits, you're having enough camber, or your fenders are rolled to where you're not going to be hitting that shit and ripping off your paint. Basically, my point is that there's a lot of wheel options out there, but there's only really a specific handful of wheels that people with an Evo go for, because they want performance and they also want looks, and really N-key, I don't know how you say it. Anyways, RPF ones, NTO3s, those racing type of wheels, Volks, for example, TE37, CE28s, those are all wheels that people go after because they want a performance race wheel, and they want something that looks good. And typically with those, you have the price tag that goes with that. I mean, shit's expensive, man. And so I would like to, get a nice set of wheels down the road, but like rolling fenders, that's my worst nightmare. I know there's a small chance that really bad shit can happen from that. I mean, like people have gotten so good at it to where you don't really see paint cracking or a lot of problems, but if it does go bad, which would be my luck, dude, I don't want to be on the tail end of that. It would haunt my dreams having to pay for paint work and have shit matched on this car versus just going with a less aggressive wheel. Because when people say aggressive wheel, that term that's used to say that it looks aggressive. It's not an aggressive driving wheel. But basically, I wanted a wheel that I knew would fit, and it would fit well. My old BBSs that I had on there, I had a pair of black powder coated ones that you saw in the first video. I actually ended up giving those to my brother, who has a Mazda Speed 3, and they look sick. They look really, really good on the car, because his is all red, they were black. It looks really, really badass. So, and I even have an extra set of BBS wheels for this car. I have the SE, the diamond black version of those wheels that I have for a winter setup, because they're kind of chipped and kind of fucked up. So I still have a set of those, so if people are tripping about that. 17-inch wheels, man, on an Evo VIII or Evo IX, they just, once you see one with 18-inch wheels, the 17s look really, really small. And I didn't realize that until I threw 18s on the car. let's do some boost, just for fun. Like right when I get out to the country, I'm like, go, 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 I go, I go, I go. 17-inch wheels looked really small because I've actually test fitted 17-inch RPF 1. Fuck, that's whistling. I've test fitted 17-inch RPF 1s on this car, and certain angles they looked really, really good, and yeah, function-wise they would have been awesome. They were 17 by 9.5, so I would have had to do some major camber work to make those fit. I think roll the rears possibly, but I had those on there and they looked so small, man. Those the RPF 1s specifically, because they have that outer lip with the dish, and then they don't actually have the spokes that start until the middle, and it really just looked like a 16-inch wheel on the car. So I wasn't a fan of that. And the only other wheel that I really, really liked was the NK whatever, I can't fucking say it. The NT03s. Awesome wheels. Those things look awesome. I love them in the hyper silver color, and those in an 18 by 9.5 look really, really good. They look really, really good on the car. But again, that's a wheel that I would have to do some work on, and that's maybe something I could potentially do down the road, you know, once I feel like doing it. But I just don't have it in me to roll the fenders, and that's just my personal opinion. But so anyway, I gotta pull over. I'm gonna show you guys these wheels because you guys have listened to me talk for long enough. Here's a church parking lot. Sure, this works. It's a Mormon church? Of course it's a Mormon church. We have so many fucking Mormon churches here in Idaho. People literally think I'm Mormon until they hear me cuss, and then they're like, oh shit, that guy's not Mormon. He said a bad word. All right, so don't get excited. Seriously, don't get excited. Okay, so you can get a little excited, but not a lot because they're still stock wheels. So if you know what these are wheels from an Evo X, or I guess an Evo X. They are just the stock GSR NQ wheels, nothing special. However, they look just awesome on the Evo VIIIs and Evo IXs. I actually would say that these wheels fit this car better than they do the 10s. And especially with this this silver color, it kind of reminds me of the hyper silver of the NT03 actually. And so it's a really, really good looking wheel. And the main reason why I got them, so some people are probably like, well, why would you spend money on getting a stock wheel, or why would you do that? And the main reason was because I was so sick of those black MR BBS wheels. I had them on the car for 3.5 years, and I physically just couldn't look at the car anymore. If you're one of those people that's had wheels on your car for the same wheels on your car forever, then you know that feeling, and it just haunted me. So I wanted something different, and I wanted something that wasn't going to break the bank, because you know I have my motorcycle, I have this, and I just buying really, really nice wheels wasn't in the books for me. So I ended up picking up these for a steal, like a straight up steal. I got the wheels, which are in all of them in absolutely perfect condition, no curb rash or anything. I end up getting the wheels with a near, probably say 90% worth of tread of the Yokohama W drives. So they were a buddy of mine's. They were his winter setup wheels, and he only had the car for a year. He bought it brand new, and he threw those tires on the wheels, and they pretty much just sat there. So I got the wheels and the Yokohama W drives for 450 bucks even, which is a steal. I mean, like if you know those tires and you know these wheels, you know how cheap that is. And I don't need the tires, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and sell those probably in the winter time, probably mark them up to like, you know, 250, 300 or something, just to get rid of them. So really I haven't paid near as much for these wheels as I would have something else. And so what I end up doing is I ended up picking up some tires for these wheels, and I did some research, and I was gonna go with a pure performance all summer tire, but I wanted something that was gonna get me some tread life. So I ended up going with the Potenza RE 760s, which are still somewhat aggressive. However, I have a 400 tread wear count on these, so they're gonna last. But for those of you who are interested to know what it's like fitting wheels with these Brembos, you can tell that there is not a ton of clearance there's less than a finger worth of clearance, about a half a finger worth of clearance on these Brembos. So you can see that it is actually pretty hard to fit some really aggressive wheels. So yeah, that's what they look like. We'll jump back in the car and finish the vlog. So with those tires, I actually got them for a really good deal. I went through Tire Rack, got they were having some awesome rebates. So I think like out the door with everything, I only paid just a little over $500, I believe, for all the tires. And I got a really good deal on mounting them and everything through a buddy. So I think all together, so 500 plus. Let's just say I sell those tires at $300, so 500, so probably what, $650 out the door with the wheel and tire setup. So it just goes to show, man, you could score a set of NK wheels from a 10 for really, really cheap if you can find them. If you can find them, you just have to search a little bit, and I wouldn't settle for anything that's curb rash or anything when you can get a set of perfect condition wheels for yeah, close to $400. So the 10 is going to be a lot different than the 8 and 9. The 10, they have the same Brembos. I mean, I think their Brembos are just a little bit bigger, but with the 10 you have a little bit of a wider wheel well, so you can easily fit a 10.5 inch wheel on those cars, no problem. And like I was mentioning before, man, you can fit a 10.5 inch wheel on an Evo. I've seen it done. I've seen it in person. I've seen somebody run a 285 series tire on an Evo 8 or on an Evo 9, and it works. They had to run some camber and they definitely had to do some fender work, but they could make it work. All right, and now that we're driving off into the sunset, I am going to end the video. So thank you everyone for watching. As usual, if you like the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all your support, and I'll catch you guys later. This is ALLDAY Anthony. Peace.